stampers, welcome to Annabelle Stampin' Studio. How you doing today? Thank you for joining me for today's video. Today I'm going to pick up sort of where I left off in the last video, where I was using only half a sheet of designer series paper. What I did last time is I used a half. Now we're going to go to the other half. And actually this time it's not even a half that we're using. We're just using these small pieces. It's still the Blooms and Bliss designer series paper. And then I'm gonna mix and match it with a bunch of other things here. I wanted to tell you a little bit about our Thoughtful Branches set, and it's a bundle. Comes with the beautiful dies that go with it. Now this is a limited time and a limited edition. They were only going to sell it until August 31st and then until supplies last. So right now I've checked, we still do have supply left. And I would just recommend, if you haven't gotten it, to really get it. It's just such a very versatile set, and I just really love it. So I'm going to be using the thank you out of here and the for you words. Now remember that the words on the front of here and the picture shown is at 75% of what the real stamps are. The stamps are a lot bigger, as let's see, as you can see in here. Okay, so just remember, in order to just get the pictures on here, they made it at 75%. Okay, so I'm going to be using the Thoughtful Branches. Make sure to get it before supplies run out, because once it runs out, that's it. They're never going to present it in another catalog. But I thought I'd just use it and use the words in my projects today to show you that. So make sure you get that. I believe it's $52 for the whole entire set, with the bundle with the dies that come with it. Okay, so we're going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing a card that says for you and this thank you card. Okay, I'm also going to be using our triple banner punch. So I'll be using that, and then I'm going to be using our layering ovals, the scallops, and our layering squares for both of these cards. Okay, so I'm just going to be doing that. It's really simple. I'm also going to be using one ink pad color, the same one we used last time, and that is our Rich Raspberry. Okay, so let's get started on making the cards. Okay, welcome back for the first card. We're going to be putting it all together here. We're going to start out with a Blushing Bride cardstock. Sorry about that. And it is a 5.5 by 8.5 cardstock folded in half. It's basically our standard size. Then we have a Whisper White background cardstock, and it's a 4 by 5.25. That's for the top of that. Then we have a small piece of the Blooms and Bliss designer series paper, and this is 1.5 wide by 4.25. And the Rich Raspberry cardstock, and that is 1 3/4 by 4.5. Now I wanted to tell you this little tip and trick when using the triple banner punch, which I've already pre-done here for us. But you want to cut at least a good, I'd say a good inch and a half longer than you really want it. Because from my testing and my working, when it cuts it, it doesn't just cut to this point right here at the base of your point. It cuts a little bit longer. So you want to add longer than you want it, and then punch it, and then you can always cut the top to what you want it, because it's a straight cut. Don't cut it exactly the size you want it, thinking it's only going to cut in on your V for the banner, because it's not. And I got caught on that a couple times. Okay, so I wanted to let you know that. And then we have Rich Raspberry scrap here that I'm using for the oval. This is where I'm going to be using the layering ovals, and another scrap for the straight edge oval for the thank you, where the words are going to go. Now I've already pre-cut the scallop one. I'm going to stamp the straight edge one, and then I'm going to go cut it on the Big Shot and then come back and put it all together. Okay, so, and then we're going to use some dimensionals to kind of pop that up there. So let me use the Rich Raspberry ink pad. And you know, you don't have to, this is a little bit, I like to rub and make sure that I get a good bit of color on my stamp. And we're using the Pierce pad on here because it is a photopolymer. Now, because we're not trying to match anything up here, you can, you don't have to worry about where you go on the page. You have to I would kind of do the center. Isn't that beautiful? I'm just going to kind of do the center there so that we can fit the die on it. Okay, so I'm going to go cut it on the die and I'll be right back. Okay, so there we go. Here I'm back with, I cut it out with the die. And now we're going to put it all together. It's so easy. Now what I like to do is I like to put everything together and then assemble the card. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, since I'm going to be mounting this onto the card, I'm not going to be mounting the thank you on here. Just going to use some glue here. Love our multi-purpose glue, as you know. I use it a lot. It's easier. I do like the snail, but I love the glue. I think it has a little bit better bond. It is a little messier, but I do like it. Okay, I'm gonna put, now this is big, so I'm gonna put 3 dimensionals on the back because I like it to be even on things that are a little bit wider. And then I'm going to glue down our flags, banners. Okay, now what I'm doing is I am gluing this right up. Okay, perfect. Okay, now we want to take, and you know me, I like to fold my card back and over. I have used my bone folder to score this or to flatten it, but I like to open it up when I'm working with it. That way I know, because I can't tell you how many times I've made the mistake of putting it on the wrong side and then not having it work. So and one thing I wanted to tell you, that I think that the Blushing Bride is light enough to where you can use, if you use a black pen, of course you can see it on the inside, so I don't think that you need another piece on the inside of white. You can certainly put one in there if you'd like it, but I don't think it really needs it. I think it's really nice just the way it is. So when you glue this on out here, which is nice, think that you can still write on there. I think that you can still see that with a blue pen or a black pen, because it's such a light, it's such a pretty color. Okay, so now this I'm just going to glue on. I'm not going to mount it, so I'm going to glue the banner on. So this is pretty simple, really easy cards, and that's what I like. Sometimes it doesn't have to be all kind of all done up. A couple things that you kind of add here at the top. Okay, so we'll let that set, and then we'll put the back of our dimensionals off, and then we're good to go. See how easy this just really took, like no time at all. I'm gonna just kind of set this in the center right here. Okay, and there you go. Look at what a simple card. It's super easy, really, and still we're on our first 12 by 12 Blooms and Bliss Designer Series paper. So we're gonna get a lot of use out of that, okay? So on to our second card, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, hi, welcome back for our second card. And I'm calling this card the Thoughtful Branches Has Words For You card, okay? So it's gonna be another really simple one. I'll start with our sizes again. We have 8.5 by 5.5 card scored and at 4 1/4 and folded. And then we have, let me start with this strip. I call it the blocking strip at the bottom. Okay, it is the Sweet Sugar Plum is 5.5 by 1.5 wide, and then we have 3 Blooms and Bliss Designer Series paper at 1.5 by 1.5, and we're just gonna kind of eyeball it and center those and glue those on that. Now for the For You to build that up, we need a scrap of Whisper White for the words that we're gonna stamp on that in a minute, and then we need this is also Sweet Sugar Plum, and this is a 2 by 2 square, and it's going to be cut with our layering squares. Okay, and I'll show you those in a minute. And this is also another DSP Blooms and Bliss, and this size is a 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 square DSP, also cut with the smaller layering square. Okay, so we've got that, and then the words, once I cut this out, it's going to be cut with a straight edge square. Okay, and so we don't need to measure that because we're just going to cut right over the words and kind of eyeball that. Okay, so I've already cut the two scallops. I'm going to stamp the For You words, and then I'm going to let me see, here it is, my piercing pad to give me my base that I need. And I'm using the Rich Razzleberry stamp pad. I'm going crazy there with the stamp pad. Okay, so I'm going to stamp this. I think I got a good image on here. And perfect. I just love it. I just love, and that's why you want to use this pad when you use the photopolymer, because it just gives you such a great impression on that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and cut this in the Big Shot, and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with cutting from the Big Shot. I'm going to show you how easily it pops right out of there. And now we're going to start the assembly of the card and putting it all together. Okay, so those are I love these dies. They're just so wonderful. They're easy to use. They're easy. There's so many varieties. If I wanted this closer, I could get closer. If I wanted it more to show, it's all like on the other one. I liked it a little bit more where I showed a little bit more of the background color. So you can kind of do what I want. I think that these three really looked good together. Okay, so I'm going to start by, like I said, I like gluing everything together and then assembling it on the card. So I'm going to start with, so I don't get all confused here, I'm going to start by gluing these two pieces together. And I wasn't sure about those layering. I was like, oh, they all look like they're the same size. I did watch a video on them, and there is a rhyme and rhythm, and I am going to do a video on that. So if you want to join me for that, probably in the next couple weeks, I'm going to do a video on that. Now what I did here is I'm going to mount this to the back. So what I have a tie here, a little ribbon. So I'm going to leave about that much, and I went around just twice on here. And going to tie a bow on the end. After my video on I think it was my very first video, I like it when the ribbon, here, let me work a little bit higher here. When the ribbon is kind of twisted underneath a little bit, I kind of like that. She told me a friend of mine was watching me do a bow, and she gave me this trick about doing it upside down, and thank you, Kelly, for doing that. I just haven't been able to get that. I just don't know. I mean, I'm sorry if my bow making, I can really make good bows if I'm not on camera, but the minute I get on camera, my hands just get all tight and twisted, and I don't know how I did. This is funny. I'm so sorry. Just gonna lap it off and continue on. I don't have a knot on there. I think that that's probably why this isn't coming out. There we go. Okay, I think that that's a really cute bow, even though it is on camera, and I kind of had to fumble there a little bit, but I like it when it's kind of twisted like that, so I like that. And then I am going to mount this to the top of that, okay? So I'm going to bend this a little bit and move it up just a tad, because I think I want it a little bit higher, and with those scallops it's a little harder to move. Okay, and the way I mounted that is, or the way I placed that is, I put mounting stickies to the back. I'm gonna put 4 here just to give it some, make sure it's solid so it doesn't when you're mounting over a piece of twine or ribbon or something like that, it has a tendency to, right in the center. Isn't that pretty? I just really love that. We can cut those little ends off in a minute when we see that. Okay, now the next piece we're going to do is this blocking strip at the very bottom. Now I'm going to kind of eyeball this. I have to, the way I've, what I did is I wanted the darker color to kind of be up here closer. I'm going to have to kind of eyeball where I want these. and then put the glue down. Because there isn't really any rhyme or reason that I did. This is a little closer here, and move this over just a tad. I think that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to kind of hold this down so I know. So it fits perfect. You don't have to really worry about too much. Like, I really try to make the cards super simple so that people can replicate them and make them quick. A lot of times we don't have a lot of time. I mean, I don't have a lot of time. I like things that are super, super quick and easy, and but that look good. That really look like you know, you could do that, or gosh, how did you do that? Kind of a little bit of a wow factor. So, and I think I have a little bit of the wow factor in this card. I think they look great. Okay, so it's about even on both sides. It looks really good. So the next thing is just super simple then. As we have it all together, I'm going to put this on the bottom. We're going to leave a little edge on the bottom. And then this we are going to mount on here too. So use our dimensionals, and again I'm going to use 4. Okay, I think that bow, I'm so glad that bow turned out great. And there you go. I'm going to cut these ends off to kind of give it a clean cut right there. And there you go. There's our second card, the For You. So Thoughtful Branches has words, and that's a For You card. So I will come back to recap both of them, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to the recap. Here you go. These are again, 2 very simple cards, but I think have a really good wow factor, and I really love them. Super easy using our Thoughtful Branches. Remember, it's a limited time, so make sure you get online. Go to my store at www.annabelle.stampinup.net, and you can order it there. Like I said, while supplies last, otherwise you won't be able to get it anymore. And if you'd like to purchase any of the other items that I have today, I would really appreciate it if you would go to my online store and check it out. If you do not already have a demonstrator, I would love the opportunity to earn your business. I hope you liked today's card, and I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.